This is a very exciting moment because obviously we are going to hear from these executives why they chose Malta. So can I start by asking you to introduce yourselves?
My name is Heinz Daxl. I'm one of the directors of Altarius Asset Management. We are a Malta-based AFIM management company. We help managers to set up structures and acting as the investment manager. We started our business in Geneva, so we still have the Geneva office, and we have another office in Munich, which are rep offices. And my main responsibility is portfolio management, being in charge mainly of liquid strategies.
Perfect. Simon?
So my turn, my name's Simon Morgenthaler. I'm a managing director of Swissquote, heading our offices here in Zurich, as you certainly can hear with my accent. So I'm quite a while with Swissquote, already 21 years, so we've grown a lot. First of all, here in Switzerland, our main market. We are coming from the private client business. My duty since the beginning was to create an offering for B2B customers, first of all here in Switzerland, later then also internationally. So in 2014 then we started our activities in Malta as a custodian and depository services we are offering there together with brokerage. In the meantime, we have a lot of international offices in Dubai, in Hong Kong, Singapore, Malta, Luxembourg, London. So we're mainly everywhere except the US. So that's a bit what I'm doing in Zurich. As I said, I'm responsible for the two offices we're having here in Zurich. For the Swiss market, mainly the front unities, so the sales department on institutional, but also on private client side. And then also for the whole bank in Switzerland, we have the customer care located here in Zurich as well. So overall, around 150 people working in Switzerland here, headquartered close to Geneva, actually it's called Gland, a small town, 10 minutes from Geneva.
Perfect. So, the first question for both of you, related to general decision-making process. What were the key factors that led Swissquote and Altarius to consider Malta as a financial services hub? Could you share some insights into the decision-making process from your respective companies' perspectives? Heinz?
Yeah, so as mentioned, we started the business in Geneva, and it was in 2006. It was a third-party marketing company. And we soon were convinced that we need to have a European licensed entity to be compliant and to grow the business. So I'm Austrian, worked for Austrian banks. I also spent some time in financial companies in Zurich and Munich. And my business partner, he's French, so we initially reached out to Austria, Germany, French regulators, did some research, and the intention was to set up a company in one of these countries. But during that process, we were offered by, let's say, pure luck to buy an existing company in Malta, which had a license and was close to liquidation. So we decided to go to Malta. We met with some service providers. We met with the MFSA, back then with Professor Bannister, and we felt they are very helpful, very approachable. And after the second trip, we decided, okay, forget the other options. We are going to buy the company and start with the business out of Malta, which was in 2008. And since then, we grew the business. And in the meantime, we don't just have our headquarters in Malta. I even myself became Maltese resident, and I never regret that decision. Yeah.
Thank you. Simon?
Yeah, I want to be honest. First of all, our story is pretty similar, and our contact, or let's say our decision to settle down in Malta was a little bit by accident, actually, because back in time, In 2010, we acquired a company here in Switzerland called ACM. They were focused on leverage forex business. So our first idea was to promote this leverage forex business within Europe. Then we thought about options, how we could do that, and we opened an office in Malta. In 2012, we applied for a license over there to promote within Europe the leverage forex business. Later on, in 2013, we made actually another acquisition. It was a bank also focused on leverage forex called MIG Bank. They already had fully fledged and operative offices in London. It was before Brexit, so where they were targeting the European market. And we had, let's say, some kind of a startup in Malta, a fully fledged office in London for the leverage forex business. So let's say the decision to move the leverage forex business to London was just logic. So we ended up transferring all this business over there to London, and in the end we had two options. What shall we do with the office in Malta? First one was to close it down, the option, which was not really our intention, and the other option was to look out for other business opportunities. And then we had also discussions back in time with Professor Bannister from MFSA. So he was very approachable, very open-minded, was telling us that there is a lack of custodians and also depository services providers. So based off this information, we created our business plan. We had different interviews and conversation with local providers, and we decided to move on. So in 2014, we then had or applied for the Category 4 license, and since 2017 we also have the Category 2 license in order to offer brokerage on top of that.
Perfect. So here the common denominator is the approachable regulator, the fact that you found him, and the open door policy has led you to the decision to base the business there. Perfect. So the second question, again for you both, comparison with Switzerland. How does Malta compare to Switzerland as a financial center? And what advantages that Malta offer, perhaps Switzerland doesn't, especially in the context of your operations? Heinz?
Yeah, for me, I'm not Swiss, but Switzerland is the center for banking, asset management, wealth management. It's famous for its stability, security, so that's the reason why you have all those high net worth individuals, multinational companies being based in Switzerland. Looking at Malta, there's definitely, for me, no competition. It's complementary to Switzerland. Malta has its strength in focusing on niche sectors like fintech, blockchain, digital assets. And when it comes to advantages, it's very obvious, already mentioned in other panels. Switzerland is not a member of the EU, which the Malta is, so you benefit from alignment of the Maltese regulatory framework with the EU, which allows you access to the single market, passporting in other European member states. Compared to Switzerland, which is obviously one of the most expensive countries to live in, so Malta has a cost advantage. It's cheaper to set up, cheaper when it comes to ongoing costs. It's cheaper when you need to pay some service providers, so this is definitely another advantage. And another advantage also mentioned before for Malta is English is the business language, and the legal system is similar to the Anglo-Saxon system. So if you do international business, that's definitely another advantage for Malta.
Simon?
Yeah, I can probably just add some points. I mean, I fully sign what Heinz was saying. I think Switzerland and Malta both are two well-established financial centers with their respective USPs. In Malta, additionally to the points Heinz already mentioned, with the EU market access, with the English language, which makes it absolutely easier to operate with, is certainly also the highly skilled people actually accessible on the island. So the network or the ecosystem, there's a lot of professionalism, but also on the individual side. So if you hire people, there are a lot of highly skilled people available in the market, which is a great advantage as well.
Thank you. So another question for you both related to the regulatory environment. Could you elaborate on how Malta's regulatory environment aligns with your business needs? Heinz?
Yeah, so as mentioned, we are an AFIM. We do nothing else than managing alternative investment funds. So for us, it's important the relationship or the approachability of the MFSA. So especially if you try to do something new, it has always been easy to set up meetings, short period of time, even to have face-to-face meetings together with the client. This is very important. It was mentioned that you have the option to set up different fund structures. You have the local regimes, the PIF, which was already discussed, but you have fund structures in line with EU regulation, UCITS and alternative investment funds. And you can do everything out of Malta, which you can do from other jurisdictions. So this is mentioned here that Malta should focus on its strengths. I agree, but Malta should be self-confident. It has a framework which allows us as investment manager to do everything which you can do out of Ireland and Luxembourg. So the framework offers all options that other jurisdictions do.
Perfect. Simon?
Yeah, for us, pretty much the same. I mean, as Heinz said, the accessibility of the regulator is very important to us. And you said it before, Graziella. I mean, this open door policy of the MFSA surprised us and also impressed us since the first moments on the island. The regulator was is very business friendly. There's an open exchange. Even today, as Swissquote, we have a regular exchange with the regulator without, let's say, a fixed agenda, just to discuss topics, exchange a little bit, and discuss the latest developments. So this was for us, or is for us, one of the main advantages. Certainly on the island, also compared to Switzerland. I mean, we have a very good relation with the regulator here as well, with FINMA, but it's completely different. There's much more distance between the parties, between the regulator and the service provider, or here in Switzerland, the bank, as we are, Swissquote Bank, compared to Malta.
Thank you, Simon. So, I will continue with you. I would like to ask you, Simon, about digital banking and innovation. How does Malta's ecosystem support your innovative endeavors when it comes to asset and fund management, custody, and depository service?
Yeah, I mean, I said it before. I think the ecosystem, it's a small ecosystem, certainly on the island, but a highly skilled ecosystem. And since the first minutes on the island, we felt warmly welcomed. The ecosystem is very supportive, very open-minded to new trends. So overall, we felt very fast integrated within this ecosystem, certainly also because of FinanceMalta and MASA, who is helping to bring people together. Everybody knows each other, which helps a lot. And certainly for us at the beginning in 2014, when we were, let's say, without a lot of experience in the custody and depository services, there we felt tremendous support from all the other business providers.
Thank you. Another question for you about customer experience and market reach. How has establishing a presence in Malta affected Swissquote's customer experience and market reach? Are there particular customer segments or markets that you've been able to access more effectively from Malta?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of market reach, it definitely had a very positive impact. I mean, as I said before, I mean, Swissquote is coming from the private client business. Let's say institutional and B2B business still today is another segment, is a smaller segment than the private client business. Today, we're doing around 25% of our revenues with institutional and B2B business compared to the 75% we're doing with private clients. Nevertheless, for this particular business, institutional and B2B, it helped a lot also to raise the awareness that Swissquote actually is offering services in the institutional and in the B2B segment when we opened up in Malta. So this was very helpful because also in Switzerland, we often were confronted with people who said, oh, wow, we didn't know that you offer services to institutional and B2B customers. So in terms of awareness, opening the office in Malta and starting these services helped a lot. On top of that, I don't have to mention that due to this activity we have in Malta, we could gain additional business. It happened also that Swiss managers who were already active in Malta got aware of our new service over there, came to us in Switzerland saying, we didn't know that you offer B2B services, and the other way around. So it helped a lot for this particular business or for this particular segment, institutional and B2B.
Thank you. So, Heinz, for you, investments, funds, and asset management. Altarius is deeply involved in asset management and investment funds. How does Malta's regulatory framework and business environment support these activities? Are there unique advantages to managing assets from Malta?
Yeah, I can repeat advantages we already heard several times, like cost advantages, approachable regulator. But I want to give you a live case, which might be more interesting. And it's even interesting because we always heard that Malta is more cost effective, so trying to pitch for business from smaller managers that maybe can't afford going to Luxembourg or other jurisdictions. And I have an example that tells you the opposite. So I'm not Maltese, but I guess we can be out of Malta more confident and then even pitch for the big clients, the big business. So we have been managing a quite complex structure for 5 years now. It's a master feeder structure, investing in venture capital. The CCAP has 10 sub-funds, so significant assets. I guess it's one of the largest notified AIFs in Malta. So as we heard in the past, we decided for the notified AIF regime. And in addition to the master where the assets are managed in Malta, we have a Malta feeder fund for many European investors. And what we do out of Malta, which many jurisdictions, even in Luxembourg, or many service providers don't touch, we set up a Delaware feeder fund. So we do all the filings with the IRS, with the FCC. We do the reportings, IRS, SEC. We have 2/3 of the investors coming from Europe, 1/3 from the US. These are only professional investors. And again, you can think big. Some of them are even very well-known international investors. So it's a real structure. You can say Malta is not just for big business. We have a structure in place for more than 5 years, having well-known investors, dealing with investors all over the world, including the US. And it's not just because we are able to doing this. We have all the service providers in Malta, law firms, tax experts, auditors that can support such a business. Something that Andre mentioned at the very beginning. So being part of the EU for more than 20 years, there is the knowledge in Malta and the knowledge in service providers to support such a business. And there's necessarily no need to go to Luxembourg or Ireland. You can do it out of Malta. So this is a message I want to communicate here that small managers still is a niche. It's important for Maltese, but it's also an option to think big, and this can be done out of Malta, and it's proven for more than 5 years.
Wow, what an interesting concept. The other question I have for you is in relation to operational efficiency. How does having a base in Malta contribute to Altarius' operational efficiency? Are there logistical, financial, or strategic advantages that Malta provides over other European financial hubs?
Logistically is more private for me, so I'm Maltese resident, flying to my clients. I have a direct flight to Zurich, a direct flight to Vienna, to Frankfurt, and Munich. So this is an advantage, a very private one, but it is one. The other advantage is I somehow need to repeat myself. It's looking at our workforce. I guess we have people from close to 10 different countries. So the only common language we have is English, which brings me back that English is really very important in our office. Business-wise and communication within the group. Cost, again, it is important. So we are in the process of setting up a branch in Luxembourg. We also have a company focused on crypto assets in Cayman. And when it comes to audit law firms, it's a very, very competitive advantage seeing what we pay in Malta compared to these jurisdictions. Even the regulators here dealing with the MFSA, now dealing in Luxembourg with the CSSF, the time to receive an answer, the responsiveness, you just cannot compare with these other jurisdictions.
Wow, amazing. So to conclude, in relation to the future outlook, and this question is for both of you. Looking ahead, what role do you see Malta playing in the future strategies of Swissquote and Altarius? Are there any developments in Malta that you're particularly excited about or that you believe will further enhance Malta's appeal as a financial hub? Heinz?
For me, there's one thing I'm excited about. This is MiCA, which was also mentioned in one of the other panels. So again, to give you a quick story, when the Virtual Financial Act was introduced, we also had a close look at it, but didn't launch any funds in Malta. It was the opposite. We went to Cayman, set up a Cayman management company to manage crypto assets in a Cayman fund structure. The main reason was you have, within that new act, additional security. You have a business-friendly environment in Malta, but that act provided many restrictions for us as fund manager. So we decided, let's do the same what the big guys from the US do, set up the Cayman funds and manage them out of Cayman when it comes to crypto. And now with the MiCA directive that will be introduced into local Maltese law and in alignment with EU regulation, with the benefit from passporting, we definitely will apply for a MiCA license, and instead of Cayman, we will now consider Malta in managing crypto digital assets.
That's amazing news. Thank you. Simon?
Yeah, I think for Swissquote, from a strategic point of view, I mean, Malta is certainly complementary. For sure, as I said before, I mean, we're focusing there on institutional clients, on B2B clients, but it's complementary, but very important because of the different USP we mentioned before. Malta has. Overall, let's say in the fund business, I think as a custody and depository provider, we have quite a unique offering in the meantime, having the license in Switzerland for Swiss funds, but also through our bank in Luxembourg, offering the Luxembourgish setup and Malta as complementary services. From a strategic point of view, for us, it's always very important to give the market access and the tools to the end customer. So in private, but also in the institutional business, We want to offer a huge range of different services, jurisdictions, just having as much options as possible available for our customers. And there Malta is certainly very important. As we said before, the regulator is very approachable. There's highly skilled professor set up in terms of service providers locally. So we're looking forward. Overall, I think we're an innovative digital bank or a digital service provider with global activity. So it's a great fit to have, let's say, a very agile jurisdiction with innovative and also agile digital service provider.
Listening to you both talking about Malta and the advantages it offers and the benefits that you gained in basing the business there makes me feel proud, actually, not just to represent FinanceMalta, which is our main role in promoting Malta as an international financial services center, but also giving exposure to you and being here today with us to share firsthand your experience as to why you chose Malta as your jurisdiction.